Okay. I don't know what to make of it. Pascal just noticed that it just said record, but I don't know when the recording stopped because it was working.
I don't know.
It was a great cheese theme. Well, if you missed the beginning, I don't know what to tell you. But I'm going to recap it. A bunch of cheese got stolen in England, and the cheese people don't understand why. Their faith in humanity has somehow been destroyed. Well, still they're wondering. So I guess there's still a little la la land, and they don't understand why anybody would do this. They don't understand the idea of robbers, the concept of it. They're wondering what the people are going to do with the cheese. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure that they shipped it somewhere and sold it. It's not that. Well, there's always the dark web.
Yes.
But even if not, I don't think you need even the dark web for that. I think there are a lot of people that will be willing to buy the cheese, unfortunately.
I would.
When you look at stolen art, somehow people buy the stolen art. So cheese.
I mean, why would you ever think it was stolen cheese?
Well, you might question who you're buying it from, I guess. Well, now there's probably, I'm sure people will have heard of stolen cheese, but I don't know. I think there's a way to sell the cheese. Although it depends how fast it goes bad, I suppose. But cheddars last longer, right? Thicker. It's a lot of cheese. They better move fast with that shit. Warning you guys with peace and love. So I don't know what happens at the beginning of our recording, but that's a recap. And we also talked about the oldest cheese ever being found, but we're not going to go back into that.
No, listen, there was some old cheese and cheese theft. That's the rundown.
If the other recording exists, I will post it separately and you'll have to piece it together. Because I have no idea how to splice recordings. It's like a miracle this thing ever gets posted. I just don't know. How did that happen?
I don't fucking know. I just noticed that it wasn't recording.
But it was recording before we saw it.
Yeah.
Saw it go 5
I don't know. I don't know what happened.
All right. Well, I think the cheese people got us.
Yes.
Yeah, they came through. Or maybe it was the libertarians.
The libertarians were like, fuck that.
Seriously. And so no answers have been provided. Oh, I'll say this. How much was it? $340,000 worth of cheese was stolen. That's the recap.
That's a lot of cheese.
But the dairy farm that got ripped off did pay the cheesemakers, which was very nice. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say about that. Interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
What are you looking at there?
Oh, me?
Yeah, you were looking at something.
No, I wasn't.
What you looking at, Willis? All right. Now, here is a very fun thing. Okay. A couple of weeks ago, or longer, for us, it was like, who knows how long ago that podcast was.
Someday in the past.
We talked about, on a little aside, I remember I was talked about, I was haunted by, I remember
yeah.
because I said I was more afraid of spiders than snakes, and this movie was a reason why. You hadn't heard of the movie, and I said it was one of those Friday night movies. And so I think I know what happened. I was editing the recording, and I'm like, what was the name of that movie? And I looked it up, and I found the gold mine on here. So when we were kids, it actually is a 1977 movie. So maybe you didn't see it because you were younger. That could be why.
Maybe.
Because I thought it was an 80s movie, but it's a 77 movie. It was called Curse of the Black Widow. It was a horror film. It's an American made-for-television horror film. Now, I don't think they put horror films on regular TV anymore, do they?
I don't know.
This was like, is it ABC?
Oh, yeah, they used to play that kind of stuff all the time.
I mean, that's scary.
I don't watch regular TV anymore, so I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't either, but I don't hear, we hear about them on Hulu, like on the other things they show up. I haven't seen it. Only horror I ever see is like stuff that's made for for those things.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you see that grotesquerie thing?
No. What is that?
It's like a horror thing that sounds really grotesque. That's the name would indicate. And what's his name is in it? It's weird.
Oh.
One of those chiefs. The one that's dating Taylor Swift.
Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Maybe they kill him. That would be funny. I mean, it'd be funny because he's not really,
Yeah.
I don't want anybody. But I'm afraid to watch it. You watch it and tell me what happens. Look at that kind of stuff, don't you?
I don't like gross stuff. I like horror, but like nowadays it seems like it's just all gross.
Yeah.
That doesn't do it for me.
Well, it has a kind of an interesting idea, but like the cop recognizes something mirroring her life in the murders or something. So it kind of, I mean, it could go either way with that stuff. But because they warn you that it's graphic, I'm like, I think I'm out.
Yeah, I like the old school ones,
Like you might
Freddy and
like that's scary.
I love Freddy.
No, I still am afraid. You know how long it took me to be able to go to sleep? I mean,
You know what the scariest Freddy movie I thought was? I don't know which number this was, but it was like the actors were really, Freddy was really coming into the actors' dreams. Like the people who played.
they said that?
Yeah, it was like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, it
I'm
was
terrified.
It was really interesting.
Oof.
I like that one. But I like that, give me Chucky,
Oh, no. None of that.
Pinhead,
No. None of it. None of it.
Jason,
No.
Michael.
Ugh. No. Casey used to describe all the, like, go from start to finish and tell me about these things. I'm like, please don't. He just Scream. He loves Scream.
Scream. I love those movies.
God. Okay. So it originally aired on ABC on September 16th, 1977. I wrote A Day of Infamy in my life, I guess because I was terrified by it. And it was re-released in 1979 as Love Trap. They tried to make it into a little, like, what is that called? Romantic,
Pretty sneaky.
So here's okay. The cast alone is hysterical. Okay. I hope you know these people as well as I do. Donna Mills, you know what she is?
Yes.
From Knots Landing.
Yeah.
Okay. She played Leah Lockwood. Okay. Now, I'll tell you, it's about these two twin sisters, and one of them is a spider.
Yes.
I'm going to read you the whole plot. It's really funny. So she's one of them. And the other sister, here's what's really funny. She played, well, all right, I'm not going to give it away. Patty Duke played the other one.
She played a twin?
She did.
And she was in that?
The Patty Duke show?
Yeah.
But what's really funny is she's like, this is like a weird, like, I'll tell you why.
Well, they were identical cousins. They weren't in the Patty Duke show.
Well, she played a twin. Isn't it funny?
Yeah.
So Roz Kelly played a character.
I don't know who Roz Kelly is.
Wait a minute. She plays a character called Flaps. That sounds like something they would say on Howard Stern.
Flaps?
I mean, do you think of what I think of? Flaps?
Because we listen to Howard. Most people are not going to think what we're thinking.
That's an appropriate name for any woman.
No.
Okay. Do you know who Pinky Tuscadero is?
Yeah.
That's her. That's the actress. Yeah.
Her name was Roz.
Roz Kelly was her name. Yeah. Yeah.
Pinky Tuscadero. I hope the people who listen to this are
that's happy
so
day.
They know.
Well, I don't know our demographic. We need to know, but I don't know how people know. I feel like, Happy Days. That is a show that we,
the Fonz.
I'm sure you all know Henry Winkler. Yeah, he's been like 20. Look, good for him. He really broke that. He's one of the few people that broke through a what is it called? Stereotyping. He got out of that, and he's going on doing a lot of things. Very nice. Good for him. And Ron Howard, also, a lot of people came out of that pretty well. Ron Howard is like the one kid that got out of that.
Krista Miller's husband in Shrinking was on the later, when Fonzie becomes like a teacher.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, him. Ron.
Yeah.
I know his name. McGinty, right? That's his name.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, I know him, and he was wasn't he on that show with Ted Knight? I go like this, Ted Knight.
With that show?
Ted Knight had a show where he was
Too
like,
close for comfort.
Maybe. The daughters? He lived with his two daughters?
Yeah.
And I think he was the boyfriend of one of the daughters.
Yes, I remember Monroe.
Yes.
Yes.
But I think he was like Monroe was the goofy one, right?
And
he was he was the cute one.
Yeah.
They always have a cute one and a goofy one.
Yeah, I don't remember it, but
I'm pretty sure.
Also on Married with Children in the later years.
Oh, that show. It was like, I couldn't take it. It's like the same joke over and over. Like, I don't know. Okay. So June Lockhart was in this. Was this? I
know the name.
Okay.
I can't picture her.
Well, I wrote it down. She was Mrs. Lockwood. She was on, I wrote, she was on one of your favorite, she was on one of your favorite childhood shows. Guess.
Me?
Yeah. June Lockhart, sorry.
On one of my favorite childhood shows?
You talked about it on the podcast.
Really? Let's see. What childhood shows did I like? I like Gilligan.
No.
Different Strokes? Facts of Life?
No.
Fuck.
You wrote a letter wanting the show to continue.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Yes. Lost in Space.
Lost in Space.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? She was the mother.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And she's still alive, by the way.
Good for her.
She's 99.
Damn.
And this is as of a couple of weeks ago. This is from Wikipedia. June keeps going.
Good for June.
It says she's retired.
I hope so.
She was in A Christmas Carol, the movie, and she was in Meet Me in St. Louis. And she was also the mother on Lassie as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Good for her.
So Howard liked her. And she was Dr. Janet Craig on the CBS television sitcom Petticoat Junction.
Oh.
I don't remember. I mean, I remember seeing it. Okay. June Allison was Olga. Now, June Allison is also a very famous actress. I'm living for a few things. But in 1970, she returned to the stage, starring in 40 Carats and No No Nanette. See, No No Nanette, my aunt was in No No Nanette. That's why I went backstage and I was with those people. So that means I met June Allison. But then, this was a woman that was a really famous actress, right? And then she wound up being the spokesperson for Depends. But this is where we shouldn't laugh at her, because the American Urinecologic Society established the June Allison Foundation in 1998, made possible by a grant from Kimberly Clark. The foundation raises money for incontinence education and research. As the first celebrity to undertake the role of public spokesperson for promoting the use of the Depend undergarment, Allison did more than any other public figure to encourage and persuade people with incontinence to lead fuller and more active lives. She actually had incontinence. She wasn't just wearing it.
Good for her.
So, yeah. But did you ever watch Hot in Cleveland?
Yes.
So remember what's her name? I think
was that
Malik? She wore Mrs. Like, she thought it was only going to be in like Japan or something, and then they started.
Yes. I like the new ones you see on the commercials where they look like underwear, like but they're like trim. They're not those
sexy.
bulky.
Yeah. They're bringing sexy back. So I wrote in parentheses, it says a diaper line for adults. So I wrote, why not call it disposable absorbent underwear? Sounds wrong to call it diapers. Vic Morrow played Lieutenant Conti. He also was a very famous guy. He was on Charlie's Angels. He was on Magnum P.I. And he was acted until he died during the filming. This is sad. He died during the filming of The Twilight Zone, the movie. He and 2 child actors were killed in a helicopter crash on set.
Oh,
and that's
sad.
This one, I just laughed at the name. H.B. Haggerty stars as Marion Popeye.
Where did they get so flat and Popeye?
And so H.B. Haggerty, turns out he was, H.B. stands for hard boiled. Do you know why?
No.
You never heard of hard boiled Haggerty? Are you sure?
No.
It's a wrestler, a professional wrestler.
Oh, no.
Called Hard Boiled Haggerty.
No, I never heard of him.
That was his ring name. It was his character. And he had been a football player. He became a wrestler. And then he had a successful character actor career. And all he did was, instead of Hard Boiled, he made H.B. Haggerty. And then this one I just thought was funny. Robert Natter as Hank the morgue attendant. Why would they name the morgue attendant? And Hank, it just seems like the most odd name for a morgue attendant.
I don't.
Like maybe Henry. I don't know. Ian. Why do I say that?
Ian. I don't know where you had me. I can see, but Ian.
Remember my big fat Greek wedding, and Ian was her boyfriend, and they were like, Ian. It was like Martians trying to say a name. My favorite scene of all was that whole scene when they met him, and she's like, the aunt was going on about what she was going to cook, and she goes, he's a vegetarian. She goes, oh, she didn't say he's a vegetarian. She said he doesn't eat meat. She goes, what do you mean he don't eat meat? And then she like calms herself down. She goes, that's okay. I make love. I love that.
But okay, as a vegetarian, you would be surprised at how many people just don't fucking get it.
No, they don't.
I've been offered hot dogs.
I know.
Turkey burgers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what don't you understand?
Oh, they don't. They don't, because I feel like they want you to be a part of them. Like people can't handle it. Like they take it as some sort of affront, and they take it as a criticism against them. It's just what we're doing.
That's very.
Get it either. Vegetarian. Here's this. I'm just going to read you the summary. By the way, this is the best. You can look all this stuff. Wikipedia has the summaries of all these things.
Oh, yeah.
Do they have like episodes of shows?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look into that.
Okay. But you can Google episodes of show and it'll give you the summary.
This is so fun. Okay. This is so funny for so many reasons. For the past 4 years, Los Angeles, of course, has been terrorized by a series of mysterious murders in which several men have been found dead with huge puncture wounds in their chests.
Oh, nobody likes that.
The latest happens when private detective, there's always a private detective, Mark Higbee, is visiting a bar. And this I put in highlights. A dark-haired woman with a German accent. And he's, they're always besmirching the Germans. So one of Higbee's friends goes out to help her. But of course, not Higbee himself. Because then where would the show go?
Right.
The woman makes a pass at the man that went out to help her. What are the odds of a man turning down a woman? Minutes later, the man is found dead.
Uh-oh. With puncture wounds?
Apparently. Yes. It says, Mark does some digging and finds that Lieutenant Gully?
Flapsing Gully.
Gully sounds like he's a seagull. I feel like that was a name in one of those movies, The Rescuers, maybe. Gully.
Oh, Fern Gully.
See, I was right. I can't believe you came up with that. Was good how you came up with that. That was a good movie.
I don't remember the movie.
Oh, it was very good. That's a keeper. Yeah. That one in The Aristocats.
Oh,
two best.
I love The Aristocats.
I love it.
We are Siamese, if you please.
And I love, I used to sing it. Michael was obsessed with that movie when he was little, not now. And so this song, Everybody Wants to Be a Cat.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to him and I go, everybody wants to be a, he said, goat.
That's cute.
I wrote a whole thing telling him tales about this kind of stuff. He was completely unimpressed. He just wants pictures. I'm like, I was going to write you all I was going to do. I put pictures, but I was originally just going to write stories, and he really, really hated that. Did you know I'm a writer or no? Okay. So Lieutenant Gully Condi is leading the investigation, knows who the culprit is, but is covering up details. So Mark, it's kind of confusing the way it's written, but it's Mark finds out why. It makes it sound like Conti finds out why, but Mark, the PI, finds out why. All of the victims have had their bodily fluids sucked out of them. It's disgusting. And the wounds are filled with spider venom.
Oh my.
Each time, a mysterious woman named Valerie Stefan was in the area. Gully suspects the twins, Leah and Laura Lockwood, are somehow involved. So then I wrote, the twins? They come out of nowhere. Like, we're supposed to, the twins. I mean, like, are they just roaming LA? Very strange. Leah hires Mark, concerned about the police focusing on her. It turns out that she dated all of the men who have died so far.
Suspicious.
Even the guy.
Or as that lady would sit behind me in class would say.
I love that. We need that woman. Mark eventually gets in touch with a former bartender who saw one of the murders. Wasn't interviewed by the cops, who tells him that at least one man was killed by, I guess this was the murder he saw. At least one man was killed by a man-sized black widow spider. So I put in, how did this not make the papers?
Right. Why didn't he tell somebody?
I said, tell me that guy didn't tell anyone. Was he all nonchalant? Yeah, I saw a guy killed by a man-sized black widow spider, but I had to get back to mixing tequila sunrises. Could you imagine social media, people making TikTok? They'd be dancing. Something by the spider. They'd be dancing to it, That spider could win an election for sure. So checking further, he finds out that Leah and Laura's father died this is ridiculous. Leah and Laura's father died in a plane crash several years ago. I guess the girls were also in the plane crash. They leave that part out. And one of the girls was nearly bitten to death by spiders. Mark finds out that the plane landed in an old vineyard owned by the Lockwoods and meets an aging Native American who found the girls. Now the Native Americans are getting dragged into it.
Didn't this happen in Spider-Man?
No,
that was radiation, yeah.
But it was just like he just got bit. Like it wasn't this complicated.
Yes.
The Native American says that according to an old legend, some women are affected by an ancient curse passed through the female line. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Okay, I'll
none of this makes sense.
But not even in terms of the plot. Because they're saying that one of the kids was bitten to death almost bitten to death, but it's nothing.
And now it's a curse,
right? During the full, it was called curse. During the full moon, these women turned into giant spiders in times of stress, killing their victims, encasing them in webbing. I can't believe it as I read it. Encasing them in webbing and feeding on them. These women have a red hourglass-shaped birthmark on their abdomens, similar to those found on Black Widow spiders. I gotta see this. Remember that at all? They are practically indestructible in spider form. The only thing that can kill them in that form is fire. So it says the twin who was bitten by the spiders is the one affected by the curse. So then I wrote a question. If she was already affected by the curse, which seems the case because she has the birthmark, why would she need to be bitten by spiders to become the killer Spider Woman? And why would spiders attack her if she's one of them?
Right?
That's what I wrote.
Yes, because this is ridiculous.
I don't know why they needed that part. They could just have, I don't know.
And why is this summary so long?
Oh, it gets longer. Okay, someone's going to be in a catatonic state. It's fun.
It's just interesting to me. They're telling you the whole movie.
That's what Wikipedia does. You never saw that before? Don't look up Wikipedia if you're planning to watch a movie because they will tell you the entire thing. You didn't know that?
I guess I didn't.
Oh, yeah. A book, they'll tell you the entire plot of the book. They'll tell you everything. So, no, Wikipedia is a spoiler. Mark calls Laura and finds out Leia is on her way. Seems so ridiculous. Now remember, Leia is Donna Mills, and Laura
is Patty Duke.
Patty Duke. Which one do you think is the spider? Patty Duke or Donna Mills?
I feel like it's Patty Duke.
You do?
Yeah.
I would have thought it was Donna Mills because she was so mean on Knots Landing. Yeah. Donna Mills is like the femme fatale. She's not the innocent one.
I don't know. Patty Duke seems sketchy.
I thought Patty Duke was very innocent.
I don't know. I always found her a little,
Based on what?
I don't know.
In real life, you say?
Yeah, there's something about her.
Wow. I really don't know Patty Duke. Isn't her father John Austin?
No, that was her husband, John Aston.
Okay. So confused.
Yeah, she was married to John Aston.
Okay.
Their son,
Aston.
Sean Aston. Yeah.
Not Austin.
Aston.
Is it spelled like Aston?
Astin.
Astin.
Yes. So he played Gomez.
If I had done that all my life, I would never have been able to answer that.
He played Gomez Adams, and then the son is very famous, Sean Astin.
I don't know what that is. What does he do?
Oh, he's been in so many things, but I mean, Lord of the Rings. He was Samwise Gamgee.
Good.
He was in Roseanne recently, or what was The Connors?
How do you know that? You watched it?
Oh, yes, I sure did.
Okay.
He was in the show 24. He was in Rudy, that movie. He was in The Goonies.
Rudy? Is that about
this little kid that plays football?
No, I don't know.
It was like a popular 80s movie. And he was
a football movie not for me. And I never saw Goonies either. I missed out.
Goonies.
No.
Yeah.
Only
he was like
the
main character.
The song. Cindy Lauper.
Yeah. And then their other son, Mackenzie Aston, was in The Facts of Life.
Take the good. Wait, which
end of Facts of Life?
Oh,
remember a little blonde boy moves in. It's after
the very end.
When Cloris Leachman,
the whole thing jumped the shark at that point.
Yeah.
They got rid of Mrs. Watson.
Oh yeah, Mrs. Garrett was replaced by Cloris.
That's sad. They should have just ended it then. It was her show.
You know how those shows are. They stretch them out. Anyway, spiders.
Ignoring the dog. Okay, so Mark calls Laura. Laura tells him that Leia. Wait a second. Who was Laura and who was Leia?
I don't know.
Okay, Laura was Patty Duke and Leia is Donna Mills. Laura tells him that Leia is the one who was bitten, and Mark tells her to get out as fast as she can. As Laura is in the midst of packing, so she's listening to him. However, she suddenly has violent convulsions and visions of two of the men who died. It turns out that Laura is really the killer. So, although she's lied to Mark, she still decided to get out and pack and run in fear, even though she knows she's the killer. Does that make any sense either?
None of this makes sense.
I'd like to see these violent convulsions. She has long suffered from multiple personality disorder. Valerie is the expression of her feelings of inadequacy compared to Leia.
Hold up.
Not only was she
she was almost bitten to death by spiders. She is suffering from the curse of the spiders.
Yes.
And now she has multiple personality disorder.
Yes.
Well, her life is fucked up.
Yes, it's bad. You don't want to
wait. And is it Patty Duke?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm confused.
I want it to be Donna Mills. I can't imagine her being innocent.
That I don't know.
She's a vixen. She was so bad on Knots Landing. I loved her, but she was so bad. And she had the best makeup. I always wanted to put my makeup on like her. She put on makeup well.
They all had
No, she was the bomb. That woman was perfect. Her face was flawless. But that makeup, I remember she showed makeup tips once.
Oh, really?
Give that up to say, not for me. Okay. So she is
a person.
Yeah, Valerie. That's that German woman. Poor Germans. Valerie is the only one who knows how to use Laura's curse. It turns out that Valerie has made several advances toward Leia's boyfriends. When they turn her down, she turns into a spider and kills them. That makes sense. The only other people who know the secret are their mother and their former nanny, Olga. Okay? This is really funny. Their mother has been in a catatonic state since seeing Valerie kill Leia's fiancé.
Who wrote this movie?
Do a catatonic state. Don't worry. Leia arrives and finds her mother in a panic. Just poof, jump out of the state.
It's a movie.
Jump in, jump out. Suddenly, Valerie walks in, taunts Leia and her mother by telling her about the things Laura never had the courage to say to Leia. She also talks about how Leia stole, this is funny, Leia stole Laura's boyfriend, Gianni. Gotta have the name Gianni in there.
I actually know a guy named Gianni.
Really?
I do.
That sounds like a kind of perfume, really.
Yeah.
You know, like, no, what's the other thing? Cologne. Gianni cologne. She explains that Laura tried to win him back by seducing him, and unfortunately, this is ridiculous. Laura tried to win him back by seducing him, but unfortunately, Gianni ended up raping Laura. Wait, if she's trying to seduce him to get him back, doesn't that imply she's having sex with him?
You would think.
How did it suddenly turn into rape if they were having sex willingly?
Don't know.
But I love how it says, unfortunately.
Well, it is unfortunate.
I did write. That's what I wrote. I wrote, that is quite unfortunate. But if she was seducing him, didn't she want to have sex? This caused Valerie to retaliate and kill Gianni. Then I wrote in parentheses, I could see that, which was what their mother witnessed. So if the mother witnessed her killing Gianni, did she witness the rape? Wait, what was going on with his mother? And so then the mother was babbling about Laura killing an Italian boy when Leia found
She killed a nice Italian boy.
Was eating a salami, some prosciutto,
and some provolone.
Parmesan. Oh my God. How many ethnic groups are being besmirched here? The Native Americans, which are now, indigenous. We got Italians and Germans. Yeah, we're not. So she said, wait, Laura killing an Italian boy when Leia found her, and it made her go crazy. I thought she went catatonic. Which is it? It said catatonic.
A little crazy, a little catatonic.
And then I just wrote in parentheses, an Italian boy with a question mark. What was he wearing? Like a big, thick necklace. Laura then turns into a spider. Horrified, their mother falls out of the window to her death. I guess this happens now. Okay.
Boy, that mother's life. Really.
Well, then she came out. She was better off staying catatonic, if you ask my opinion. But she saw Valerie kill Gianni. To kill Gianni, she had to turn into a spider. So she'd already seen Laura turn into a spider. Why is she so horrified when Laura turns into a spider again that she falls out the window?
Maybe she's like, oh no, not again. I can't do this.
My bad, I can't do it again. Okay. Valerie encases Leia in webbing. Of course, she doesn't kill her. Too easy. Olga arrives minutes later. That's the nanny. Like, where did she come from? Their nanny just always comes by and realizes Laura has to die. Light bulb! This girl's encased in venom. Maybe I should have killed her before because she didn't know. Well, she goes. Now, this is weird. She goes to an old farmhouse.
Where's the farmhouse?
What's that? Because she finds Laura cowering on a stall. But Valerie so Valerie became a spider, encased Leia in webbing.
In a farmhouse?
No, this was in the room. This was in the house, regular house.
Well, she must have dragged her to a farmhouse.
It doesn't say anything about Leia. It says Olga arrives minutes later and realizes Laura has to die. She goes to an old farmhouse to find Laura cowering on a stall. I guess she's trying to play the innocent one, Laura admits that Valerie killed her mother and hurt Leia. Well, you are Valerie, honey. I don't think, what's her name is there. No, Leia, okay, Leia's still encased in the webbing back in the other room, okay? And that's funny. Something about Donna Mills being encased in webbing. And I was scared. I wonder what kind of makeup she was wearing. So Mark finds a place deserted and goes to the farmhouse. Wait a minute. Says he found the place deserted, and then he finds Leia. Then he goes to the farmhouse. He finds Leia alive but terrified. Oh, maybe she did drag her to the farmhouse. Wait a second. But if he goes to the farmhouse, where's Olga and Valerie with the gun?
Are you suddenly looking for this to make sense?
The writer.
None of this has made any sense.
He finds Leia alive but terrified. I would be. They don't say that he takes her out of the webbing, but I guess he did. Just then, Valerie arrives in spider form. Mark empties his pistol into her to no avail. He hurls a lantern at Valerie and she catches... Oh, wait, and we missed something. He pulled out the pistol. Valerie took over, turned into a spider, and killed Olga.
Oh.
Okay, so Olga's dead.
Fucking Olga.
Poor Olga.
The other Olga.
Everybody's dead. Okay, so he empties his pistol at her, he hurls the lantern, she catches on fire. Leia and, I guess he didn't know the story about the fire. I think somebody told him. Leia and Mark escape while Valerie sets the farmhouse ablaze as she thrashes about on fire. But not on purpose, she's just thrashing. See, this was terrifying to me, to see this big spider. You can imagine. 77, so I was born in 66. So I was 66. I was 11.
11.
All right. Smarty pants over there. And they put me in a classroom to teach kids math. Okay. So 11 years old is too young to be watching this. Where was my mother? Wandering around out. I was alone.
Listen, the 70s, it was a free-for-all.
No, I know my mother would still do it. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you. I was communicating with Casey the other night, and he says that my mother doesn't feel badly.
Wow. Damn.
My father feels badly, but not my mother.
She was like, whatever.
Yeah. It's your fault.
That's it.
You're in the way.
You get what you get, and you don't get upset.
She always told me I ruined her career, her opera singing. I didn't ask to be born, just so everybody knows. Okay, I'm over it. But sort of. No, I am. I got over because I've been thinking about my mother a lot. I'm like, well, maybe she's trying to communicate to make amends. Then he told me that. Because I was asking him the questions and he answers. You got to know the right questions to ask. So the farmhouse burns down to the ground, and the police consider the ordeal to be over. They come over like, it's over.
Somehow I feel that it's not over.
Okay, this is very funny. Sometime later, we don't know when, Mark is at Leia's beach house for dinner, while Jennifer is shown playing on the beach with her dog. And everyone's, that's what they wrote. Who these things?
I don't know. This person must have been...
So, because like Wikipedia people put that on there, right? So this person who decided, I'm going to put a summary of this movie from 1977.
I think anybody can write on...
Right? But like, who is the person that wants to take the time to do that?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm nothing to do with it. I'm just going to write a summary.
So weird.
Okay. So then I wrote, we can soon ascertain from further on what goes on. I just figured I'd explain it. That Jennifer is the child from Gianni raping Laura.
Wait a minute.
Remember I told you that he unfortunately...
Right. But Laura is which one?
The bad one.
The spider. So where'd that baby come from if she burned up?
No. She had the baby a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Jennifer's playing on the beach. She's like older.
Okay.
She's like a preteen, I think. It doesn't say.
All right.
I wrote, but really she should have been mentioned earlier. Leia explains that Jennifer is adjusting to living with her. See that? You should have could pull it together. Though she still has occasional nightmares, but with diminishing frequency. She has returned to school and is making new friends. This would have more impact if we were seeing the kid. She tells Mark that although Jennifer does not really look like her, sometimes she reminds her of Laura. Jennifer asked to go for one more swim before dinner. What does she do? Like, come back up to the house because she's playing on the beach. She comes back and she just goes, are you that too much of a goody two-shoes?
I guess she is.
Well, goody two. Jennifer asked to go for one more swim before dinner, at which time she turns and waves to Mark and Leia on the balcony, revealing a red hourglass-shaped birthmark on her abdomen, the same one that Laura had, indicating that Laura was her mother. Nope, I think we should have known that. And that she has inherited the curse of the Black Widow. Therefore,
a sequel.
I don't think there was. But again, the whole thing is ridiculous. So there didn't need to be a plane crash. It just needed to be this thing. So I wrote, Mark doesn't notice.
Mark's a bit of a dummy.
And then I wrote, did he ever tell Leia about the birthmark thing if he didn't notice it? because he knew about the birthmark thing. Someone told him, but I don't know if Leia knew. So I wrote, did he ever tell her about the birthmark thing? Because really, she must have seen Jennifer's stomach, but if she doesn't know, she'd be like, that's a birthmark. Well, my sister had that, but it doesn't, Then I said, a moral question. What would they do if they knew? Maybe just avoid stress. Keep her inside on full moon.
Mother her.
Well, that's okay. That's sort of like the question, would you kill baby Hitler?
Do you know that he's going to turn into Hitler?
Yeah.
Then yes.
You're going to smother a baby? You could say that in, I don't think I could. You could look at a little innocent baby and smother it. I don't think you could.
I don't know. I mean, it's one baby versus 6 million people.
I couldn't. I'll tell you right now, I could not smother a baby. I don't care. I would just accept him into art school. If he had just been accepted into art, not only did they not accept him in Vienna into art school, they ridiculed him and told him he sucked. Okay,
I know, but so many people go through that and they don't.
Okay, but I'm just saying that if they just fucking accepted him, this wouldn't have happened. He'd be making really bad paintings.
If Woody had gone straight to.
But I'm saying, okay, and there's a reason why he went back and took over Vienna and all that, Austria. He was pissed off at them.
No, but normal people wouldn't have that reaction.
Maybe they shouldn't have mocked him. You don't mock people.
But a lot of people get mocked and don't turn into that.
But some do, and there's more than one. Maybe this is another example of being nice to people. God, he could have just, if someone had just, look, nowadays people buy this shitty art. He probably could have had an art career now. They buy all the dumb shit.
Yeah.
I will tell you now, I couldn't kill baby Hitler. I might want to. I'm not against someone doing it, but I could. If it was up to me, I couldn't do it. I can't kill a baby. Just can't. A little innocent baby looking at you. The idea, like, the breaths are... No, I can't. I can't do it. So, what is this? Oh, that's a quote. Okay. Wow, we're early. I can do another thing. Okay. But so on a side note, I said, all of this has given me the inspiration for us to do a show on Patreon called Plot Holes. It can have a graphic of a plot falling into a pothole. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
All right. I can do a mini thing. This one, remember, we always had our not just stupid, but stupid. Well, it's returned. Nice, the return
and back.
Somebody reported that a 2004 Ford Freestar van was stolen. Investigators closed in on this woman as a thief, and she said she didn't know the van was stolen. But they found her journal where she wrote, "Totally stole a car today. Something I never thought of doing. Dear diary, today I became a felon."
Wow, what a dummy.
So that's how she got charged, because of her own admission.
That's funny.
Isn't that funny? Okay. And here's one that I call only dog fans. So a woman named Amanda Jourdry LeBlanc, it's an interesting name, of Blandford, that's boring, Nova Scotia, that's fun, found a dog sitter she liked and booked them several times over the summer. This was recently, too. It was reported on November 19th. But then she discovered a video of the sitter advertising an account for OnlyFans. She recognized her own home in the pictures, her bathroom and her outer pool. She bought a subscription to the service and discovered more explicit content filmed in her house.
Oh, my God.
She said, "I am still shocked by it, to be honest with you. Everybody can do what they want. I don't care. I just don't want it done in my house."
Yeah, really?
Then it says the dogs were not featured in the video. Isn't that hysterical?
My God.
I love that.
I would freak out.
I think that's, well, at least the dogs weren't used.
Yeah, thanks.
JD was there.
Oh.
Tell me that's not funny.
That is really funny.
All right, I still have a little more time. So I'm going to say, okay, you must have heard of Karen Reed, right?
No. Who's that?
You have not heard of the case of Karen Reed, who's on trial for somehow murder, even though she's accused of running over her boyfriend when she was drunk, dropping him off at a house where they were going to go to this party. Like, okay, you never heard of this?
I'm going to say once again, no.
Okay. It's interesting because, like, I don't know how you escaped it. Okay, so this is a huge thing, right? Like, people are all about now. She had one trial and it was a hung jury, and now they're going to have another one.
When did this incident occur?
A couple of years ago, maybe 2020. Okay. It might have been, might have been as long as 2020, or it might have been like 22. I don't know, somewhere along those lines. So, she was dating a cop, a seasoned veteran of the force. I think she's a teacher. I could be wrong. She's something. She's not a cop. and they were hanging out with a bunch of his cop friends at this bar, and they were drinking it. All these cops were drinking excessively, and they all drove home.
Oh, I've been in the bar with cops.
That's great, right?
And yes, not only are they buying you alcohol and everybody's getting drunk, but then they give you those PBA cards.
Nice. Nice. So this happened in Boston. And Boston comes into the factor because in Boston, as in Massachusetts, now murder 2 often is a much lighter thing than murder 1, but in Massachusetts, it's life if you get convicted of it, which is really, I think, unfair. But I always watch the practice, so I know that, the unfairness of it all. So she was drunk. They have her on video drinking like 6 shots and I think 9 drinks totally. But you really can't prove, like, their glasses, and she could say some of them, I don't know. She shouldn't have been driving for sure. She admits she was impaired. Nor'easter was coming, so of course let's go party. So they decide they're invited to this other house with these cops, but like people that he's had a little beef with, like there's something where Karen wasn't sure if it would be cool if they really went in. So she told him to go check if it was cool and come back because she had to pee. And she wasn't into, like, if she didn't want to go in there, if there was going to be trouble, because she just had to pee, that was a major thing, after all those drinks. So she waits outside, and he doesn't come back. And she's getting pissed. So she starts, like, texting him, like, where the fuck are you? She called him some pretty bad names. I think she called him a molester or something.
My God.
I was just quite drunk. I don't, that's not an excuse, but, like, it was weird. Meanwhile, this guy, his sister had died of cancer, and he was raising her kid. Can you imagine? It may have been more than one kid, at least one kid. So she leaves. She's like, fuck you. And she drives to his apartment. I think it's an apartment or wherever you live. She was staying there because she lived further away. So, and by the way, in the bar, everybody thought they were very loving, this and that. It wasn't like they were having trouble. So, and you could see, they know when her phone hooked in with the Wi-Fi with him. So she's being accused. Well, what happened was she wakes up like 4 a.m. and he's not there. She's like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is he? So she calls up now she's still drunk, but less drunk, but she calls up, I guess, one of the people that were supposed to be there. I don't think she sort of knew her, and the woman's like, no, he never came in. She's like, what do you mean he never came in? I saw the door. She said she saw the door swing open. People don't believe her. Okay. She picked up, I think, that woman, and they went to go look at the house where it was, and they find his body in the yard. So she says, did I hit him? Like, because like, you just like, she didn't mean it really, but like, now he had some pretty severe injuries. She's accused of backing up onto him. So then she got accused of negligent homicide. Then they also charged her with secondary murder. Secondary murder, you have to like have intent to kill somebody. Okay. But nobody thinks she even did it. Okay. When she was backing out of his house to look for him, she hit his car, and she thinks that's when her taillight broke. Okay, now her taillight was just cracked. But on the scene, they found shattered taillight. Everybody thinks it's a cover-up by those cops that they killed him. Okay, for whatever reason, they were all drunk. And he did have beef with one of them, like a younger one that came in. They knew that. And he has like injuries that some people said looked like a dog attacked him, and they had a dog in there. There's all these reasons why they think the cops are covering it all up because they're cops, and they're blaming the non-cop, right? Now, number one, she has no motive. What is her fucking motive? They were getting along. Yeah, they were the couple that fights sometimes, but they didn't. Everybody said they loved each other. Okay, there's no reason to kill the guy, and they always make such a big deal of motive in some cases. Like, for years I don't think we can prove. You don't even have to prove motive, but they make such a big deal out of it. When people are guilty, they still don't arrest them because they really didn't have motive. This woman, she got arrested 2 days afterwards. They didn't even bother really investigating it.
Oh boy.
2 of the men that were in there, 2 of the cops, both got rid of their phones immediately. One of them destroyed it, said it broke. Yeah. The other one wiped it out, somehow made, because he's a cop, so he knew how to really wipe it. And he said, well, I needed an upgrade. Okay. The woman, her phone still worked. She deleted a Google search, but they found it. House instead of house long to die in the snow. And now they bringing in experts because that happened at 2 a.m., which was right after she dropped him off. Like, they think when he walked in and there was a big altercation, maybe involving the dog or whatever, but then it could be that they didn't want the dog to get put to sleep, so they threw him. You never know what goes through people's heads. I don't know. The dog, by the way, was rehomed somewhere where no one can find the dog. I think you could if you really look, but whatever. So So all this went on, all this fucking suspicion, and she gets arrested, right? And now she's had one trial, okay? And the jury was hung, but they were not hung on the most important charge. They acquitted her on murder too, but the judge didn't let them announce it. So that has not been filed. So she's being again tried for murder too, even though they've acquitted her on it already.
That's not legal, is it?
Kind of, because they never filled out the form for that, but they were instructed not to.
That's shady.
This is a huge thing. People think law enforcement's all in on it, right? She's got very good lawyers, right? Because she didn't have any money, but so many people have donated. There's a huge, that's why I'm surprised you never, this huge campaign, Free Karen Reed. Huge.
Never heard of it.
And so, I mean, they shouldn't even be retrying her, really, because, like, the biggest charge is gone. Like, there's no fucking proof, you know? And so the trial again is in April.
Okay.
But so I listened to a date with Dateline, and actually they're the ones that got me kind of interested in it, because Dateline covered it, but one of the Dateline women is really into this case. So she was saying all the stuff that actually, like, she liked the Dateline thing, but they only can cover so much, and she knew all that inner shit. And that's how I heard all that inner shit, because she said that, you know, and it is really fascinating. Like, it's just like, wow, motive. Everybody makes such a big deal of it, but there's no motive for her, you know? And I have another question, which I don't expect you to answer, but like, if you admit you were drunk when you were driving, but they didn't arrest you at the time for it, can they still arrest you for it later on? I don't think so.
I don't think so, because they can't prove anything. I mean, just because you said it doesn't mean it happened.
I think
there's no field sobriety test. There's no blood test. There's like,
I don't
urine test. There's no,
well, no. Well, they tested her once they found the body. They tested her, which was like, I don't know, 6 a.m. or something. And do you know that even then she was just above the legal limit? So you can fucking imagine what she was at 2 a.m., right? But still, I don't know. That's a question I can't answer. But and it's also like, I don't know, something so fucked up about this whole thing. I don't know, but it's very interesting. She's got a very annoying Boston accent, though. I should talk about my accent, but I find it fascinating that there's this huge, you know, it's got to be a cover up. There's no way they all got rid of their phones. Oh, so they have a phone expert that came to court, and he said it's possible that the phone could have resynced, and because the woman said, oh no, I Google searched that really at 6 a.m. once they found him, because they were trying to revive him. So she Googled to see if it was like how long it would. That doesn't make any sense. And why would she delete it? Right? This sounds like they decided, let's throw him in the snow and let him die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's malice. That's murder.
Yeah.
You know, but those people are never going to get charged, obviously. I mean, it's fucked up. So I found this very interesting. So that's all I have to say about that. I can't believe how fast I'm going through all these things. It's so exciting. Yeah, I got really hopped up about that. I don't like miscarriage of justice. And it just seems wrong that some people get away with so much. And by the way, they get out of, I hate when they do. Boston, it's a life. If she gets convicted of that, it's a life. And she already was acquitted. But meanwhile, in other states, you get maybe 10 years for murder too.
Wow.
It's a huge discrepancy. If you have the same sentence for murder one and murder two, what the fuck is the point?
I don't know. That's ridiculous.
Because I remember so many episodes. And one particularly sad episode of The Practice, Marley, what's her name? Marley Matlin?
I don't know. I've never watched that show.
No.
Yeah, Marley Matlin.
Yeah, she was on it.
Yeah.
And this was a horrible episode. Her daughter was raped and murdered. Her little daughter was raped and murdered by her coach. So when they arrested the guy, she came up and shot him. And so they arrested her, and she wound up going to jail because they only did murder too. But then the attorney from The Practice goes, in Massachusetts, that's life anyway.
Wow. Well, there's reasons not to live there.
Do you plan?
No.
That's a moral dilemma too. Like, you really shouldn't go. I can understand. Oh, I can't even imagine. That is the worst. The worst episode in terms of sadness. They had a lot of moral dilemmas on that show. That's why I liked it. It was a very good show. But can you believe that? We're under an hour. I think we're very talented people.
High five.
Ka-chow.
Ka-chow.
Okay, and one last thing. I started listening. Okay, I'll tell you this quickly. There's a podcast that you'll really like that I got really upset by. It's called The Apology Line. Okay?
What is that?
It's a true story about a guy. He was an artist. You know how people do art, but it's a different form. So he set up an answering machine and got a number dedicated to this thing called the apology line. People could call and leave a message that he told them to call from phone booths, and they could confess to anything. Okay. And he got the craziest, like, they were really bone chilling, a lot of these. Now, some of them were completely, you could tell they were fake. This one guy, he took them so seriously. It was like a fake black affect. It sounded like the OJ call. I'd be killing people, like,
God.
it's like, I see OJ. It was the same voice. I'm like, that's fake, but he took it seriously. I think the guy's name was Free Hard Time or something. He made up a weird name. They all made up names. But then when there were a lot of them that were serial killers, like, and whether they did, this guy, the guy that did the phone line got really interested in like talking to him. That is fucking creepy, right? Like they kept leaving each other messages, but they did it he rigged the machine so you could listen to like he only let certain ones stay, and he always left his to the guy, and then the guy left to him. And it's so fucking creepy because the guy was like, I love killing. It was like, don't you feel bad? He's like, no, I don't feel bad. It's like, no, I don't have a reason. I just do it. I like it. And he's like, you're looking for some high moral thing, or you're looking for some, code of ethics for a killer. There's nothing. I just do it because I feel good doing it. Yeah, but it was really, you could listen to all these messages.
Yeah.
It's really, I think you would like it because you like serial killers.
I do.
I don't like serial. I got very freaked out by it, and I only went to the very end to see what happens.
Yeah.
I couldn't. It's only 6 episodes, so I think you'll like it. But it's interesting.
The apology line. I
think it's a Wondery thing, but do you have Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Then you can listen on Amazon. Any Wondery you can listen to for free on Amazon Music.
Cool.
Also no commercials. That's what really is good.
Oh, this reminds me of, it's similar. There's this thing called Post Secret. So basically you can write in to whoever this guy is anonymously and tell him your secret.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that now?
Yeah, there's books. There's like a Facebook group.
Really?
Yeah, they're really interesting. I don't remember. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Yeah, this happened in New York City. It's very interesting, but creepy as hell. And his wife tells the story.
I like creepy.
Yeah, but she got completely freaked out,
Okay, so it's postsecret.com. And
you could read the other people's?
Voicemail secrets. Oh, Frank, the author of Post Secret.
Oh, so okay. So it's like a modern day version of this.
Yeah, people's postcards.
Really?
Yeah, they're a very art.
I would never do that. Because they can trace your handwriting.
It doesn't have to be handwriting.
What's true?
It can be.
What are you gonna do?
Let's see if they have pictures on here.
Does he get confessions for murder?
I don't think I've ever seen a confession for murder. Okay, these are all handwritten.
But maybe they're not really bad secrets. I mean,
some of them, I think they're mainly sad secrets.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's interesting.
Let's take a look at that.
Yeah, there were books.
He had whole books about it?
Yeah.
Well, I guess they must be interesting if it's a whole book.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's sad. A lot of it is really sad stuff.
Well, that's sad. Well, I thought the apology line, I think the creepiest thing about it was listening to the people's voices and like, except for that one fake one. And he was like freaked out by that. Like, do you know a fake accent when you hear one? God.
I guess if he's listening to all these things, he's probably freaked out to begin with.
They used to play it at dinner parties for people. And the people, when they listened to somebody confess murder, they just all walked out silently. They couldn't handle it. It's pretty upsetting. The guy became completely obsessed by it. And it was 15 years he did it.
I'm writing it down. I don't know about everybody else, but I remember nothing.
The apology line.
Apology line.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think.
I'll find it.
It's the apology something, I think, line. Right off the back, he got a confession where the person gave his name, and then he had the moral dilemma. The cops were like,
oh, God.
We got to hear that. So he did an interview with NPR without he never revealed his identity. But, and the guy said, if you tell anybody, I'll kill you, whatever. That's what. So he did an interview with NPR where he played the tape, but because he always said he wasn't going to give it to the cops, so he really didn't. But the cops got it from the NPR.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But he never found out what happened after that. But the guy gave his name, and he said he liked to kill gay people. It was pretty dark.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's a pretty dark thing. It was, but I mean, it's only 6 episodes too, so it's like,
Yeah, I'll listen to that.
Yeah. So, and I listened to this other, I don't like it. I thought it was funny, but it's like a one joke thing. It is a funny name. It's a podcast called Who Shat on the Floor of Our Wedding? And it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing about these two lesbians got married. It's true, apparently, that someone pooped. But then they found out it was in the bathroom. It's not as bad. what happened in the bathroom.
No, I mean, at work one day we found a poo on the floor of the bathroom.
It is funny. Like, it's funny, but it turns into like this one joke thing. And they got like that, a do-it-yourself, what's that thing called? Lie detector.
Oh, lie detector.
Yeah. Oh, they did hire they did get real DNA people to come in. They're like, why did you agree to this? Like, we don't know. It's kind of funny, but it's just dragging on. But they make baby merch, and it says, I am the poopatrator.
That's funny.
That's cute. So, but it's British, and I used to love British, and now I'm so annoyed by it. It's too much.
It can go either way for me.
I'm annoyed by them. All right. Well, we covered a lot. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy. We're still, next time, we'll probably do our songs that we hate. Remember that?
Oh, I forgot about
Oh, it's a good thing we didn't do it tonight.
Oh, no, I have songs that I
You
hate.
can do it next time.
Oh, yeah.
You can look forward to that. Songs that we hate. And if you have songs you hate, let us know.
Oh, yeah. I don't think people are going to be happy with the songs that I hate, but I hate them, so it's fucking bad.
That's well, you know what? That's what it's like in this world. We have to understand that it's our opinion. We're allowed to have them. Yeah. I'm still getting comments about Luigi. Like, what are you talking about? He's not skinny. Da, 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 da. I'm like, do you understand that my opinion really means nothing in a scheme? We're allowed to disagree.
I guess not.
Oh my God, it's crazy. Okay, where's my quote? Do you have a quote for this one?
I have a few.
Oh my, look at you. I again only have one. All right. This is Chuck Palahniuk, who we love.
Love it.
Yeah. He's the author that wrote Fight Club and Choke. Choke is my favorite. Is it your favorite? It's the one I bought you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He signed it for her. I love him. So he wrote, remember, this is about, what is this about? Oh, it's about distract. Remember, I was thinking that the whole thing about that whole show, it was like such a distraction. Like all these shows, especially in our childhood, right? What were these things but huge distractions on us, right? They were just kind of a waste of our time. So I looked up distraction quotes. So Chuck said, people don't want their lives fixed. Nobody wants their problems solved, their dramas, their distractions, their stories resolved, their messes cleaned up. Because what would they have left? Just the big, scary unknown.
Oh, I like that.
I know.
I went with film.
Okay.
So I have three. So one is Jim Morrison.
All right.
And I really like this one. Film spectators are quiet vampires.
Oh,
That's a bit like that.
Oh, that makes me think of them in a whole other way. I like that. He should have put that in a song.
Yes. And of course, Alfred Hitchcock. Always make the audience suffer as much as possible.
I like that. I think he did.
One more by John Waters. I just have to find it.
John Waters. He does movies? I know the name. I know him.
Serial Mom.
Oh, I love Serial Mom. That was a good movie.
Yeah.
She's singing
Divine.
Remember she was singing Daybreak while they were chasing?
It's just a lot of movies. I'm just blank.
Oh, that's all right. Well, I love Serial Mom.
Yes. His is, I believe if you come out of a movie and the first thing you say is the cinematography was beautiful, it's a bad movie.
Oh, that's so true. It's so true. He's right. He's right. Very nice.
Yeah. Oh, Hairspray he did.
Okay. Yeah. I knew his name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a pretty famous director, and he's an odd man.
I like odd. Some people like Ike. I like odd. All right. Well, we did great. We covered.
Yay!
I thought we were going to cover.
We did.
It was fun. Yeah. We learned about stolen cheese. You know why this is shorter also? Because we lost the whole thing.
Oh, fun.
But on the other hand, I really don't think it was that long into it. It was just a few minutes.
No, that's fine.
If I find that, I will make it just a separate thing, and it'll be really odd because a lot of people probably won't read the description. Why?
Yeah.
Cut off.
It'll be like, oh, it's 10 minutes about cheese.
That's right. It'll be fun, though. It'll be like, who cut the cheese? Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, for listening. Au revoir.
Good day.